500.
Welcome to Heaven on Earth, a sacred portal to visualizing, meditating, and co-creating our highest joys that usher in the Golden Age of Aquarius. I'm your host, Athena StarSeed. Hi, welcome to the show, Heaven on Earth, and I have my amazing co-host Kim Hix all the way from Hawaii, and in studio we have our special guest Swaha Ron Holman. So Kim, welcome to the show. I'm going to go ahead and start out with our invocation, and then we'll just jump right in. So everybody
Great.
Take a nice deep breath. Inhale and exhale. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light return to earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. Let Christ consciousness return to earth. In the center where the will of God is known, let the center guide the little wills of men, the center which the masters know and serve. And may it seal the door where evil dwells. And may the plan of love, light, and power restore heaven on earth. Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Raphael, Father Sky and Mother Earth, from the point of light that connects us all, create this sacred circle of light. Om, om, om. All right, Kim Hix, welcome to the show.
Hello.
And we got Swaha Ron Holman in studio, and our tarot card of the day is Justice. I'm going to put that right in front of the camera. All right, Kim, you can go ahead and jump in.
Justice is always a very interesting card to me. I've grown a lot in understanding justice over the years and realizing its failings and its successes. And so in the primary sense, it of course means ultimately a fairness and an honesty and authenticity. But the symbolism here is very interesting because it is backed by the sword. And I find the sword, the upright sword, is an interesting metaphor for the act of justice, that in the world of duality, the sword cuts both ways. And so karma becomes an even greater form of justice in the laws of the universe. And there are two crosses in this: the cross of the sword, the life and death, mortality, and success of life, and then the cross of the balancing wheel, so that the balance is also a cross. And you have to weigh very evenly. Of course, this is a Libra balancing act. And it's very interesting that she's got the red robe on, and she is therefore accountable to the significance of justice in acting it out, but she's also being guided by the purple drapery behind her, which represents compassion at its highest level. So I find that to be very interesting. But I want to return to the symbolism of the sword, because the highest context of symbolism that it seems to portend is the ability to cut through the illusions and obstacles and distractions to the eternal source, or the still point of emergence of truth itself. The sword cuts through ignorance to the fundamental basis of all creation. I think these are important aspects of knowing how to balance. So we balance the inside with the outside. We balance the left with the right. We balance the masculine with the feminine. And so justice is a very important card for our times, especially since we are seeking what we speak of as social justice, a very vital role for us to be playing in this world. But let us be conscious that whatever we do, we also do to ourselves. Whatever we do to others, we also do to ourselves. Very important. And so let's do a good job of this.
Also, too, I wanted to say the Heaven on Earth, which is the name of the show, we're balancing the heaven and we're balancing the earth, because we, as the walking trees, are the bridge between those two worlds. And we have Swaha Ron Holman in studio, and he actually reads a certain special set of tarot cards. And what's your take on the Justice card, Ron?
Well, I think what Kim said is really significant and important, that the sword pierces the illusion that ultimately there is, sort of good and bad, that what somebody views as horrible today could be a blessing tomorrow. So piercing the immediate knee-jerk reaction to the circumstances of life and getting in the flow of what is gives one a much better chance to, I would say, engineer the action that should or shouldn't be taken.
Yes, justice is largely about an action intended, and therefore the deliberation before it is very important.
So I wanted to introduce Ron and talk about where he came from, where he is, and where he's taking his own purpose and life forward. And we start that journey in the 60s.
Yeah, the 60s were an interesting time, and I participated.
That they were.
Yeah, I participated in everything that was available to the largest degree possible.
I
And
salute you.
at 29, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, so I surrendered and started a new way of life, a spiritual life. And that was very slow at first, but over the course of time, what we were talking about in terms of surrendering to what is, staying the knee-jerk reaction to life started becoming a part of my life. And it was a significant shift when my wife was sent home to die, stage 4 cirrhosis of the liver, and we decided that wasn't such a good plan. So we decided that I would look outside the box. So from that point forward, I started investigating every kind of healing in any tradition, in any part of the world that I could find. And it really brought to life very deep roots that I hadn't really consciously, I would say, awoke to. But over the course of time, it did. And Linda lived 27 years longer than the doctors thought was possible.
Wow.
So that journey took me, to John of God in Brazil 4 times. And
Wow.
I remember one time I'm in the current room and the staff comes out and he says, he wants you. And all right. So I go out there and they push me up on the stage with him, and he's got a knife and he's cutting a guy's side open about 7 or 8 inches.
Wow.
And reaches in, pulls out a tumor, and I'm standing right next to him. My hand starts moving towards him, and I'm wondering, hand, why are you moving? And he dropped this tumor in my hand.
Oh, my God.
And then he put a couple sutures in the guy's side, and the guy walked away. So, the things that I've seen in the world move beyond Western Judeo-Christian understanding of how life works. In the East, they have the concept of the good demon. And, when I first started hearing stuff like that in the, the Romania, I took a step back and I went, wow, there's so many views. And the Buddhists have the concept of Mara, who guards the 6th day to heaven and does everything to keep people from going in. But when they do, Mara celebrates, which gives you a whole different concept of what the job of evil is. So, one thing led to another, and I'm in India, in 95, and I come back and I'm dysfunctional for 3 months. I couldn't go anywhere without hearing what people were thinking and feeling what they were feeling. It was really quite horrible.
Wow.
Finally, what we were talking about earlier, surrendering to what is the key. I don't care what's going on. I surrendered to that And eventually I was able to ask God, please take this away unless it's important that I really know what's in people's heads. And God did that. So if it's really important for me to know, I know what you're thinking and I know what you're feeling. And in India, many, I've been to India 17 times, and I've been on the trail of the immortal Siddhas. And just to give it a reference, we would consider Jesus as an immortal Siddha because his physical body dissolved into light and ascended into heaven. And Elijah and Ezekiel in the Old Testament are immortals. Some of us know about Babaji and Bogar and Agastya and all these incredible beings. There's actually thousands of them in India and in Tibet and in Cambodia and China that have moved past the conventional understanding of how life works. You're born and you die. And, you continue your life in heaven. But there's actually other options. And these immortals, some of them show up and teach a little bit. And they give their herbal and gemstone medicines that help to expand consciousness in a body. They're non-psychoactive, of course, and they just support the unfolding. So the Oramus is certainly one of those, and there's literally hundreds of other slightly different vibrational medicines that, work good for some people, and other people, other kinds of this medicine helps them to expand how they view things.
How do we get in touch with such guardianship as your eternal beings? How does this sort of manifest, and how can we and all of our group of conscious avatars here take that to heart?
Yeah, that's it. It is a heartfelt thing, and there's always guidance from God, from the angels, from our higher guides when we live in our heart. And, I can't tell you, many times, well, 3 times actually, I'm driving down the street and there's a bum or a street person there. And my heart says, stop and give them money. And I do. And 3 times it was one of these immortals. And I looked in their eyes and I just saw the entire universe. And I was just in such awe. And I'm driving off and I'm wondering, where are you going? I turn around, go back, and guess what? They're gone.
They're gone. Wow.
I had one dissolve into light right in front of me, and I just started bawling. All I could say is, God bless you, God bless you, God bless you. And I cried for a week. This was in 95. So, we need to pay attention to our heart and the guidance that comes from there. You never know, when something's going to land on you that's, an important part of your path or an important part of, supporting humanity.
I liked what you said about the obstacles issue, too, because you can't tell when a difficulty and an obstacle will become a huge asset. And that helps you get to a transcendental view about situations and not judging them as good or bad. I've certainly learned in my life that the hardest stuff in my life has really been my master teacher. And continuing on that path is just accepting it, opening up to it. I think it's vital for how we approach these days and these times here.
Hallelujah.
All right, we will be back with more mystical stories and our beautiful in-house guest, Swaha Ron Holman. Stay tuned. This is Athena StarSeed, and this is a show called Heaven on Earth.
Hi, friends. This is Larry Manetti. Go to LarryManetti.com to get my book, Aloha Magnum. You'll read all about the wonderful guest stars like Carol Burnett, Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, and many, many more. There is an episode guide and my favorite recipes that I really cook at home. I will include a free signed photo with every book. Get Aloha Magnum at LarryManetti.com. Order now. Aloha.
Come to Angelo's and Vinci's to see the memorabilia of movie stars and theatrical magic right in downtown Fullerton, California. See the art of the masters. An Italian town square complete with storefronts of old Italian butchers and cheesemongers, fruit and wine vendors, seamstresses showing their wares, fairy lights from cathedral ceilings, and our ancestors smiling down at you from the family love altar. The romance of Romeo and Juliet, and find the mystical Room of the Moon. And don't forget King Kong, Dracula, Frankenstein, and who knows what awaits you in the wine cellar. Enjoy the great food. We hand stuff our pastas, roll each and every tortellini, bake our own bread, make our own sauces fresh from our private stock of Sicilian family recipes. From pasta to seafood, chicken to award-winning pizzas, tiramisu flown in from Rome. If you can't find something on our menu to tempt you, you don't like Italian food. Try our Sunday brunch, just $18.95, and Angelo's and Vinci's has been named 2 years in a row Best Italian Restaurant in Orange County. Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurant, 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Call 714-879-4022.
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares first or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644.
Destination South Point. 11 great restaurants, bingo, bowling, movies, race books, sports books, spa, live entertainment, oversized rooms, and the rates unbeatable. The South Point Las Vegas. Book now. Online at southpointcasino.com or call 866-791-7626. southpointcasino.com or call 866-791-7626. At the South Point Las Vegas, you're always a winner.
Athena StarSeed, and this is a show called Heaven on Earth, and we are back with my beautiful co-host, Emmy Award-winning set designer Kim Hix, and our in-studio guest, Swaha Ron Holman. And so we were just coming off some magical stories about how the universe can peek through and say hello to you from some of these amazing immortal beings. And I wanted to actually share with our audience that Ron actually has a regular job. So what do you do for what do you do for a living, Ron?
What I do for a living is I own and operate a mental health insurance company, an HMO. And we manage 1,500 new patients a month, and we handle inpatient, outpatient mental health. I have 120 employees, and I have sought to, every time I go on a pilgrimage, every time I come back to, life here in LA, to show up, more patient, more understanding, more insightful, to really embrace people where they are. I know that my employees are doing the best they can, and it's my job to support them to, reach within themselves, to show up, with more of who they are. We have a healer that comes to the office every week and has free healing sessions for 18 of my employees. And, it is a very interesting opportunity to balance, I would say, conscious economics and to do the right thing when nobody's looking.
Business and consciousness going together is a beautiful image of two paths holding hands and beginning to find a way to create service, a value, and a deep-hearted spirit, and still remain economically viable. It certainly is a model we would like to be looking at. So I'm really impressed that you balance these so thoroughly. You're a
little, just a little bit exact. I wouldn't say I balance it thoroughly. I'd say I'm working on it, and God is supporting me, and when I fall out of balance, that's, often, I come back into balance quicker than I used to.
Yeah.
So
that is the issue, isn't it? I remember them saying that, strictly speaking, enlightenment is just temporary. You get flashes of enlightenment, and then it disappears, and then it comes back. And the idea of trying to attain oneself is to get there more and more often and stay balanced. So no matter where we are in a balancing act. And as long as we're in the fields of duality, that is, of course, the nature of the beast. The matrix.
The immortal Siddhas of South India really talk about this is as real and important as that or the afterlife. And, it is, it's really important to, embrace, what is. And I work at it. I mean, somebody wrote a book, Before Enlightenment, Chop Wood and Carry Water, and After Enlightenment, Chop Wood and Carry Water. And why is that? Well, because there's an infinite unfolding of consciousness. And what does that unfold from? It unfolds from our stuff. Our stuff is unprocessed, emotional desires, wants, angers, whatever it is that, we have from either this life or I think all of our lives.
Wow, so it comes from our stuff. Indeed, we don't have consciousness unless we have these experiences to help serve the enlightening of ourselves, to help us grow and be consciously active and creative.
And that creates a field around us. And even walking past somebody, they get a wash of that energy.
That must happen a lot in India, I would imagine. And like you were speaking about encounters with the street people, that there can be these huge leaps of, Athena, how did you put that? It was beautiful when you were talking about the sort of the eye of God showing up in the street person, that there's a peek through from heaven.
It is. It's just incredibly amazing, and you can't really think about it. I mean, you have to just be present in order to.
That's it, isn't it?
You
have to be present, and then it can hit you. So this is heaven on earth. It comes right through these marvelous momentary holes when we actually get that's it.
From the wounds to the wisdom. We'll be right back. This is Athena StarSeed with Heaven on Earth, and heaven comes from you.
Hi, friends. This is Larry Manetti. Go to LarryManetti.com to get my book, Aloha Magnum. You'll read all about the wonderful guest stars like Carol Burnett, Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, and many, many more. There is an episode guide and my favorite recipes that I really cook at home. I will include a free signed photo with every book. Get Aloha Magnum at LarryManetti.com. Order now. Aloha.
CRN listeners, when you come to Southern California, stop by a great restaurant, the Dresden Restaurant at 1760 North Vermont Avenue in Hollywood. Enjoy great entertainment, like the music of the legendary Marty and Elaine at the world-famous Dresden Restaurant. The Dresden was a location for the making of the movie Swingers. Now you can swing with stars Marty and Elaine. Plus, enjoy great food, too, like French onion soup, artichoke hearts, and many other great appetizers. Seafood, there's salmon, shrimp scampi, New Zealand orange roughy, halibut, Lake Superior whitefish, and specialties like veal, marsala, piccata, and parmigiana. Plus, we've got a great roast rack of lamb, chicken piccata, and cordon bleu, and pasta dishes, too. Steaks, filet, New York, Chateaubriand for two. Much more, too, including pork chops, prime rib of beef, and an incredibly extra large cut of prime rib. It's the Dresden Restaurant, open for lunch Monday through Saturday and dinner Monday through Sunday. Check us out at 1760 North Vermont Avenue or call 323-665-4294.
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-445-3166. 800-445-3166. That's 800-445-3166. Call now. 800-445-3166.
Located in the heart of Maui's premier resort, Kaanapali Beach Hotel is officially recognized as Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel and the #1 best value in Hawaii. With a range of accommodations and affordable dining options, this is the ideal setting to turn Hawaiian dreams into lifelong memories. Live Hawaiian entertainment every evening, free year-round children's programs, weekly arts and crafts fairs, welcome breakfast, and departure kukui lei ceremonies add to the value. Swim in the whale-shaped pool, indulge in the fabulous spa and hotel salon. Enjoy Hawaiian hospitality at its best at the Kaanapali Beach Hotel. Call 800-262-8450 or go to kbhmaui.com. That's kbhmaui.com. Aloha.
Kaanapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Supreme grace, lay rain down through me. Supreme grace, lay rain down through me.
Welcome back. This is a show called Heaven on Earth, and I am your host, Athena StarSeed, and I have my gorgeous co-host all the way from Hawaii, Emmy Award-winning set designer Kim Hix, and I have a beautiful guest in studio, which is Swaha Ron Holman, and we are talking about the mysteries of the universe, the magic of those mysteries, and actually taking 100% responsibility of who we are and why we're here and what our purposes are. And I wanted to start out this next segment with talking about the responsibility of going from the victim to the victor. And you were talking to me on the break about the Akashic Records and your experience with that.
Yeah, I, for the longest time, felt like I got tricked to take a birth on this planet. And
I think a few people feel like that.
So, I had the blessing of being guided into a space. Some of us know this space as the Akashic Records of everything that was ever thought or done or planned or agreed to. And in this space, I was actually able to witness the videos of my soul agreeing to come in to this body and to participate in all of the activities. All of the abusers, all of the supporters were there on tape agreeing, asking me, are you really ready for this? And I kept saying yes, 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 because on the other side of these experiences is the light of God that I really am ready for and want. And I will go through whatever it is that I have to in order to get there. So the possibility of me stepping into a victimhood, a victim energy, is practically destroyed.
Wow.
Yeah. So, when stuff comes up, I know, that, my fiance, she might trigger me, but it's my material. It's my material, and it's a sort of a curious excitement a lot of the times about, oh, good, what piece is going to fit into place this time,
There's a great book that everybody here listening can go right to YouTube right after the show that will decode what he just said, which is called The Little Soul in the Sun by Neil Donald Walsh. And this little child is in heaven with a bunch of other little children that are like little candles in the sun, and they ask God, I want to know what it feels like to be separate. I want to know what it feels like to experience forgiveness, because they don't experience that in that dimension. And so the other little soul says to its friend, I will give you that gift. I will go down to earth with you, and I will teach you forgiveness by doing something so horrible that you will get to forgive me. And then the little soul says, oh, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for that. But then the soul says, but whatever you do, don't forget we made this agreement, because I myself might forget who I am, and then we'll both be lost in the illusion. So what he's saying is incredible. It's very accurate. I feel the same exact way with some of my own spiritual experiences. And I want to welcome everyone today to take a pledge to take 100% responsibility for everything they agreed to and everything they created. Right, Ron? Let's talk about that.
Absolutely. And at the very least, start getting curious about, what is this? What does this mean for me? What is the opportunity for me to start, embracing this, start looking into this, start really taking responsibility for this?
I'm thrilled to hear you say that, because it's really been the art form of my life more recently to figure out what is the significance and the value and the opportunity here. I think everyone listening here is something of an avatar or a bodhisattva, or even just a simple hero wannabe. And I want to read a quote from Joseph Campbell about this processing. This is about all the heroes and all the heroes we have here together. We have not even to risk the adventure alone, for the heroes of all time have gone before us. The labyrinth is thoroughly known. We have only to follow the thread of the hero path. And where we had thought to find an abomination, we shall find God. And where we thought to slay another, we shall slay ourselves. And where we had thought to travel outward, we shall come to the center of our own existence. And where we had thought to be alone, we shall be with the world.
Absolutely. Stepping into that awareness and consciousness. The immortals in India, in particular, Boganathar, who was known as Lot Tzu in China and was one of Babaji's teachers, has given a medicine called Navapassanam. And this Navapassanam is where the stories of the Fountain of Youth came from. And
Navapassanam?
Nava, N-A-V-A, means 9. Passanam is poisons. And they're exquisitely balanced. And on my website, discerning-wisdom.com, there's a button called Navapassanam, and in there's a file that says ongoing reports. And there are hundreds of emails I've gotten from people about what has happened to them when they took 1 ounce of the Navapassanam water that's available free and went into their prayer and their meditation, and what happened to them over the next few days or few weeks or few months. And it's really incredible. I mean, everybody's on their own timetable and their own timeline, and whatever it is that one is ready for, the step they're ready for, the insight they're ready for, the understanding, the ability to surrender to something that has been so difficult, this is what the Navapassanam helps to facilitate, which is really a heart elixir. That's what it is. And the Oramus that we were talking about is collected, the wet method, in Navapassanam. So while most Oramuses are all pretty good, this Oramus has Navapassanam in it also, which takes it to a different level.
Kim, I like that quote because it backs up what Ron's saying with being able to discern when things are coming in to the inside of the labyrinth. Because when you get hurt, we talked about this a couple shows ago. Ow, 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 divorce, cancer, death, your house burns down, a mudslide, a shooting, ow. And then you go into that deep, dark place. And what you find in that stillness is that wow, and that big expansion on why everything that's happening to you is that eternal gift of those prior agreements made on the causal plane in those Akashic records, looking at, and you were talking about videotapes and actually a library of books. Can you go into that?
Yeah,
that was wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Akashic Records. Everything that was ever thought or agreed to in this dimension or in any other dimension, and certainly before a soul takes birth, is all recorded in the Akashic Records. It's all there.
I love it. It's the Akashic Records and have now gone digital.
What Dreams May Come. What Dreams May Come shows a little bit about that.
Yeah. And and the truth of the matter too is that there may have been deals made and agreements made. For instance, my wife was supposed to live to be 82. This was the understanding. This was the deal. This was the agreement. And it got changed. And she moved on at 61. And I was just, what happened here? What happened to 82? This was the deal. Sometimes deals change. So once we get to the place to where we can embrace what is, maybe we'll gain some insight about why a deal changed or why a program changed. It's obviously to me now is an upgrade.
I would like for you to talk about when she died and you were severely contracted, where you went and how you expanded again.
Yeah, the night Linda passed, I was in meditation at 7 o'clock and she came in, and in her voice, just as clear as we're hearing each other now, she said, "I'm leaving now." And I started crying out, no. The hospital called at 11, said Linda had a catastrophic brain event. And I said, "What time?" They said 7 o'clock. I said, "Yeah, I know." And so, after the funeral and the burial and everything, the day Linda passed, I got a newsletter from the monastery of the Holy Archangel Michael in the mountains in New Mexico that I'd never signed up for. And so I showed it to a friend and I said, "I think I'm supposed to go there." And so I did. And, I just was in prayer and meditation the whole time. And finally, one day I heard God say to me, "Ron, you've mastered the soulmate relationship with Linda. Congratulations." What do you say to that? I said, "Thank you." Then I heard God say, "Now I have something else for Linda to do, and I have something else for you to do." So this is the new deal then. And what I said to that was, "Okay." And I surveyed my whole emotional, energetic body, and I just said, "Wow, I guess I'm time to go home." So I packed up my car and I went home, and a new life, new relationship, new possibilities, opened up. So it's Earth School. Is a weird place. It's a very, very weird place.
Kim, I wanted you to talk a little bit about, because Ron doesn't know that you had a death experience too, and what happened with that. What did you come back with? First, talk about the death experience.
Well, I was in the hospital and in a deeply hallucinogenic space, and between the medicines and my body giving out, and a being had come for me and had taken me by the hand. She was very gentle and urging, and so we started moving very quickly, but in that incredible way of not moving at all. You're just, but the world was starting to recede, and as we went away, I realized, I said, "Where were we going?" And we're going to these sort of, she implied, these mountains in Tibet or someplace. The mystic mountains, and as I looked, the earth behind me started to crumble and dissolve, kind of digitally, like a Technicolor explosion or something. And then right behind it were a million more Earths, and they were starting to dissolve in that whole process. And I was just astounded at this. And then as I looked down at my body began to molecularly break up, and it too was Earths, millions and millions of Earths fragmenting. And I felt good about it. That was the strangest thing. I felt fine about it and was quite resigned to it. And yet I somehow woke up after this and came back to the body with enough peace to recover, and now I'm still in this dissolving body, awakening heart consciousness.
Super nice. Very, very, very cool.
Yeah, I think each and every one of us, if we go back even in this one life timeline, we have had these magical, mystical, unexplainable experiences that draw us inward, whether it's an injury or it's an advanced state of awareness. And I think when we surrender to that magic, knowing the universe is intelligent. And so like the sadhus, they have their little bowl, and they know when the bowl gets filled up, they say thank you. And they know when the bowl is empty, they say thank you.
Yeah, the journeys I've had in India are most interesting. One of the really, really cool beings is Mahananda Siddha, and there's YouTubes on him. He was a billionaire, and when God appeared to him in the form of Lord Shiva in, I don't know, like 1997 or something, he said, drop everything, go to this mountain, live in this cave, and feed and heal everybody that comes to you. And he instantly did it, walked away from everything.
Wow.
And 6 years later, Shiva appeared again and said, good job. Now you won't ever have to eat, sleep, or drink any liquid, and you're going to live 500 years. And just being in his presence, the first time that I was in his presence, I had no thoughts for 3 hours. And it wasn't until, it wasn't until I was walking away to go to the car that a thought came in. There's been no thoughts here. So, I am blessed to be able to get very close with him. I have a spiritual brother that's like his personal assistant. And, on my most recent trip to India, I was there a month and a half, I got to see him 2 or 3 times. I got to sit in his presence. He covers his body with ash, and he gives me ash, and it's medicine. I put it on my forehead. I eat it, and there's so many different varieties of these beings everywhere. But especially in India, for me, they're just, they seem to be, behind many trees. And we went to see Maya Ma's Samadhi too. She lived 440 years in a body. And she lived down on the seashore for many, many, many years. And her disciples would watch her go out into the water, dive into the water, and disappear for 3 hours in the water. I was telling somebody I think she's part mermaid. And, I don't know, in 89 or 65 or something, she dissolved into light and beamed into this rock pyramid in this tiny little room that's maybe 4 times the size of the studio. And, it's just an incredible energy, and hardly nobody goes there. It's so interesting. The energy there that we feel is intense.
Sometimes you just have to have the level of allowing to actually see those different dimensions and hear those messages of where to go, because when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And sometimes that vibration, it's a little lonely at the top. So this is Athena StarSeed. This is a series called Heaven on Earth. We're on CRN Talk Radio, and we're going to be right back with our last 4-minute segment, wrapping it up with Swaha Ron Holman in studio. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. This is Fred Dreyer with some breaking news. My new movie, Highway 395, has just been released. Highway 395 is my latest movie and is now available for all of my friends and listeners to own. Highway 395 is a classic modern-day Western thriller. Action, romance, and the frontier spirit. It's all there in my new movie, Highway 395. Now, here's the best part. You can own this movie tonight by going to my brand new website, freddryer.co. Head to my website now at freddryer.co and check out the trailer. Then order the movie for a great night of entertainment. And while you're at freddryer.co, check out the memorabilia and my career highlights. But don't forget to order my new action thriller movie, Highway 395. So head over to freddryer.co. That's freddryer.co.
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares first or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644.
CRN listeners, when you come to Southern California, stop by a great restaurant, the Dresden Restaurant at 1760 North Vermont Avenue in Hollywood. Enjoy great entertainment, like the music of the legendary Marty and Elaine at the world-famous Dresden Restaurant. The Dresden was a location for the making of the movie Swingers. Now you can swing with stars Marty and Elaine. Plus, enjoy great food, too, like French onion soup, artichoke hearts, and many other great appetizers. Seafood, there's salmon, shrimp scampi, New Zealand orange roughy, halibut, Lake Superior whitefish, and specialties like veal, marsala, piccata, and parmigiana. Plus, we've got a great roast rack of lamb, chicken piccata, and cordon bleu, and pasta dishes, too. Steaks, filet, New York, Chateaubriand for two. Much more, too, including pork chops, prime rib of beef, and an incredibly extra large cut of prime rib. It's the Dresden Restaurant, open for lunch Monday through Saturday and dinner Monday through Sunday. Check us out at 1760 North Vermont Avenue or call 323-665-4294.
Hi, this is Athena StarSeed, and this is a show called Heaven on Earth, and we have my lovely co-host, Emmy Award-winning set designer Kim Hix, and then we also have in studio Swaha Ron Holman, and we are just finishing up with our last 4-minute segment, and I want to go into what is the purpose of having no thought in the mind, because they call that enlightenment. So you want to talk about that, Ron?
Well, I think that I wouldn't refer to myself as enlightened. I'd refer to myself as being blessed from time to time with no thoughts. And it's really what we were saying on break is that, you know, it's you're able to hear and experience God, and the heart, you know, is the speaker for that. So when we're in our heart, when we are surrendered, and, you know, the mind is quiet, I think that the ego is at rest or asleep. And then there are happenings. Things happen. And those things in that state are always in divine right order. So it's an opportunity to participate, you know, in our life purpose, in the support of the unfolding of consciousness on the planet.
So I just want to recap that. So when we have a silent mind, the heart becomes our tune-in resonator to hear God, and then God can give us information and direction on where to go, and we feel that pull from the heart. Oh, I should turn left here. I don't know why. I should talk to this person. I'm not sure. But then something magically unfolds, and then we actually can see a larger perspective with that data.
Right. Stop and give that street person some money.
Exactly. Or sometimes food, or sometimes an encouraging word or a smile. You never know what the date is going to be. And I have had as a child sometimes that still small voice save my life for listening. I'll just share one quick example. I was driving in a car. I was 6 months pregnant with Reverence, and I was going from the Rose Temple after a performance back to Woodland Hills. I heard, get off on DeSoto. And I was like, no, I have to get off on Topanga. And they're like, get off on DeSoto. And I was like, no, I want to get off closer to my house. And I, in my flash, saw an accident. So I was like, well, just in case. And I pulled right off to DeSoto. The car in front of me cut off a huge tractor trailer. It jackknifed. There was a huge accident, and I was underneath the freeway by the time it happened. And I was thankful that I listened to that voice, although it did take me 3 times because I'm a little, you know.
3 times is kind of a good thing, too, because, from time to time, there seems like there's energies that try to interfere with me being. So I always like to ask, is this for my highest good? Is this interference, or is this God? And usually, 2 or 3 times, it's a good measuring stick.
So, Kim, let's wrap this up with your end on the divine justice of the universe and how the adversity of having that experience of death helped you.
Well, it gave me the beautiful feeling that everything is okay, because I met Mother Death herself, and it was sweet, and it wasn't this horror and suffering and the Grim Reaper stuff, which led me to a totally different feeling for my life. So I'm very happy about that. And I think that's what we need to get at, the very nature of now the collective wisdom. I mean, for our ability to talk to Ron and hear about India and our own heart path guidance, I think this is important stuff, because we're all here to get it together. And I think the collective enlightenment is becoming very important and vital to who we are and who we are becoming and what our roles on this earth are right now. These are great world-changing times, and these are the wisdoms we're receiving. So it's a treasure to hear what Ron's going through, been through, and you, Athena, just the brilliant sides and summations. It's so useful to all of us with these open heart paths, This is a great time of the heart chakra to be resonant.
Beautiful. Well, open up your heart. That's our message, because you are heaven on earth through that heart. This is Athena StarSeed. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Are you tired of hearing your favorite talk radio show sound like this? What if you could hear your favorite shows in crystal clear, high-definition digital sound? Well, with CRN Digital Talk Radio's 6 channels of high-definition radio, you can now hear all of your favorite hosts like you've never heard them before in CRN HD. The difference is amazing. Catch your favorite political hosts like Dennis Prager, Tom Hartman, Barry Farber, and so many more. Entertainment and lifestyle programming like The Robert Conrad Show, The What's Cooking Show, and The What's